It was just another ordinary afternoon in Manhattan. The streets outside buzzed with honking taxis and hurried footsteps, but inside the quiet café on the corner of Fifth Avenue, time moved a little slower. The smell of roasted espresso beans floated in the air, mixed with the faint notes of a piano playing in the background. Business people typed away on laptops, tourists sipped cappuccinos, and baristas moved rhythmically behind the counter. In the far corner of the café, a young woman sat alone, a half-empty teacup in front of her. Her name was Alina, a Russian exchange student working 2 part-time jobs to pay for her studies in the U.S. Her face was calm, but her eyes told a different story. She was on the phone, speaking in Russian, her voice low but trembling. "No, Mama, I can't send anything this month," she whispered, her tone heavy. "The rent here is too high, and I'm behind already. I might lose my place." Her words were full of love, but weighed down with fear. She didn't notice the man sitting 2 tables away, a man dressed in a tailored navy suit, sipping black coffee while scrolling through emails on his tablet. His name was Michael Carter, a tech millionaire known for staying under the radar. Usually, he wouldn't pay attention to background conversations, but something about her tone, her quiet desperation, her dignity, made him lift his head. He didn't understand Russian, but the emotion in her voice needed no translation. Alina continued, her voice cracking. "I'm trying, Mama. I'm doing everything I can. I just need more time." Michael watched her discreetly. Her clothes were modest, her eyes tired, and yet there was a grace in the way she held herself. Even in pain, she didn't fall apart. He noticed her shaking hands as she hung up, quickly wiping her eyes and picking up a worn-out notebook. She started to write, as if trying to turn her sadness into strength. He hesitated. Should he say something? Should he help? But he didn't want to appear rude or intrusive. He didn't even speak her language. Still, something stirred inside him, a feeling he hadn't felt in years. He remembered when he first came to New York, alone and broke, sleeping in his car, and living off instant noodles. He remembered how one stranger's kindness, a small loan, no questions asked, helped him take the first step toward the empire he now owned. Now, sitting across from this quiet young woman, he saw a reflection of his past. Michael finished his coffee, pulled out a business card, and scribbled something on the back. He stood up, walked past her table, and gently placed the card near her notebook without saying a word. She looked up, startled. He smiled briefly and walked out. She picked up the card. On the back, in neat handwriting, were 5 words. "You remind me of me." She stared out the window, confused and curious, unaware that this moment was the beginning of a miracle. The next morning, Alina woke up to the sound of her phone buzzing on the nightstand. Groggy and still unsure how she'd get through the week, she glanced at the screen. It was an unknown number. Hesitating for a second, she answered. "Hello." A calm, professional voice greeted her. "Hello, may I speak with Alina Ivanova?" "Yes, this is Alina," she replied cautiously. "My name is Grace. I work for Mr. Michael Carter. He asked me to reach out to you." Alina sat up in bed, instantly alert. "I'm sorry, Mr. Carter. I don't know." "You met him yesterday," Grace said gently. "In the cafe." Suddenly it clicked. The man in the suit. The card. "You remind me of me." "Yes, I remember," Grace continued. "Mr. Carter overheard your phone conversation. He didn't want to intrude, but he asked me to find a translator, and with a bit of help, we understood the situation." Alina's heart was pounding. She had no idea where this was going. "He would like to meet you," Grace said. "He believes he might be able to help, professionally." Later that day, Alina arrived at a high-rise office building, still uncertain and overwhelmed. She was greeted warmly by Grace and led to a minimalist office with a view of the skyline. There stood Michael Carter, the same man from the cafe, now in a crisp charcoal suit, his demeanor calm but welcoming. "Alina," he said with a smile, "thank you for coming." She nodded nervously. I don't understand why I'm here." Michael gestured for her to sit. "Yesterday I heard your voice, even though I didn't understand the words. It took me back to my own beginning. I came to this city with nothing. and I know the pain of working hard and still feeling like you're falling behind." Alina said nothing, her eyes locked on his, unsure if she should feel hope or fear. "I don't believe in handouts," he said, "but I do believe in second chances. So here's what I'm offering. A scholarship to finish your studies, fully funded, a paid internship at my company, and if you choose to stay afterward, a permanent role." Tears formed in her eyes before she could respond. "Why?" she asked softly. Michael smiled. "Because someone once did the same for me, and I promised myself I'd return the favor when I saw that same fire in someone else." She wiped her face, her hands trembling. "I don't know what to say." "Say yes," he replied simply. Alina nodded, overcome with emotion. For the first time in months, she felt like the weight on her shoulders had lifted. Her dreams, the ones she had almost buried, were breathing again. As she stepped out of the building later that day, the cold wind brushed her face, but it didn't matter. Something inside her had changed. One overheard phone call, one silent act of compassion. And just like that, her life was never the same again.